Hi there, I'm Mosima Pusoetsile, and today I want to help real estate agents, construction companies understand why it is important for them to avoid typical marketing. It's really easy for us to coin the word huipapat or marketing ourselves. It's really easy for us to say that we are going to market our services, our construction services, our real estate services, without actually understanding the nuances of associating the word marketing or the practice of marketing with what we do. Now, if you don't understand that what we do here at Khastoma Acquisition System Installer, we are ball marketing that is all about getting you visibility, likes, all engagements, and digital fame without it finding a way to get those people to actually access the transformation that you offer. We don't like that. This is why we coined that type of marketing, typical marketing. Now, for the most part, about why we don't like typical marketing is that usually when people that speak about marketing, they say it's about raising awareness, or it's about letting people know, or it's probably about getting the word out, as if that actually means something, because getting the word out requires a destination, and getting it out from where to who. There's so many unanswered questions. It's ineffective. It'll probably cost you way more, and it'll probably make you hate the idea of marketing entirely. Which at Khastoma Acquisition Installer, we support marketing, but we don't like marketing that is not attached to sales, to the process of getting people to access your transformation. That is to say that I want to help you understand the reason as to exactly why you should be avoiding marketing. But before that, I want to help you see how we understand marketing. Marketing to us at Khastoma Acquisition System Installer is us having a message that we want to speak to a specific audience, to let them understand with clarity that we know their pain and we can solve it best. That's it. It's not about us, it's about them understanding that there's a solution in the world. There's a solution in the nearest proximity. There's a solution at the most affordable price. There's a solution at the most premium price, at the most highest transformation possible that you offer as a real estate agent, that you offer as a construction company. And you're probably saying to yourself right now, well, I don't see how you could be teaching me how to speak to people about what you offer, real estate agency and construction companies. You're right. I don't have a degree, I don't have a background, I don't have any relations with forming bricks or speaking to people about real estate. I don't. But what I do understand though, because I took in the time to learn what was missing in businesses in Botswana, what was missing in the idea of actually serving people, what was actually missing is an ability to clearly convey a transformation to a people. And a people, to be honest with you, in my understanding, at this level, a people seems a bit too vague. It's a bit too big. Most of the time, we want to speak to an ideal group of people. That means it's a very small group of people. This is why I've coined in the beginning of this video that I'm speaking to real estate agents and I'm speaking to construction companies, because marketing, generally speaking, is actually a financial circumstantial advantage. That's what it is, generally speaking. If we have money, we can market. But if we don't have money and we don't have the proper understanding of how we should be marketing our skill, our profession, our so needed skill, if we don't understand that, we're going to be spending a lot. We're going to get eyes, clappings, comments, engagements, and probably internet fame without us actually getting people to access transformation. And your life doesn't change either. It's very painful, and we don't want that for you. That's to say, if you have already been indulged in typical marketing, I would like you to do just a simple exercise here. I want you to change your attention from trying to get the word out, which is typically in posting static content, pictures, or just speaking to people as if it's not a social environment. Again, we must understand the nuances of the environment we are showing up at. This is why in Khastoma Acquisition System Installer, the Facebook page that exists is not entirely for myself, but we must have a face and a voice, and we must find an environment where the majority of our people function at, and that's Facebook. Excuse me, and in order for the general group that want to understand nuance of marketing, that's YouTube. So we found the environment, we found the group where they function at, and we showed up. But specifically for you, you probably also have Facebook, probably have YouTube, and you probably don't even have any other platform, but you have Facebook. That's still okay. But I want you in your marketing to change your focus, because at Khastoma Acquisition Installer, what we have come to understand is that when we say it's easy to say we're going to market, what it mostly misses in these businesses is focus, is a frame. Of course, a frame is designed and fabricated around the words. Who are we speaking to? Where are they? What pain are they experiencing? What language do they understand? But besides that, specifically for you, I want you to understand that because marketing requires money, and you perhaps don't have 4 million like Mr. Hamosi, you probably don't have 1,000 pula to spend on your marketing, but you probably do have a camera, you probably do have a phone that has a 4K shooting format. I want you to change your focus into building digital credible repetition, DCR. You must build digital credible repetition. Why? Because if we're going to have a message, we must show up at some point. We must show up. And we must show up. Credible speaks to value. We're going to show up to offer value to the people that will understand that, oh, we showed up for them. That's why it's important. That's why it's important. That's why it's credible repetition. Credible speaks to value. Repetition speaks to consistency, and it speaks to an image about why we're here. It speaks to the why. So credible for value, repetition for the why. We're here, why? For you, because you're experiencing this. Value, and this is how we solve it. This is how you could be helping you right now. That's why. But also, while we do that, as we build digital credible repetition, you must also understand. This is very, very important. If you miss this part, this video is not important for you. It's not going to work. It's not going to change anything. You must understand how you make money. That's true. Why am I saying that? If we're going to show up, show them the value we offer, and show them our why, right? They now understand. They now feel and resonate with what we're doing, the offers and the whatever. But if we cannot find a way to let them know, guide them, to say, access the transformation that I have for you, you will be out of business and the competition space immediately. Because having people to clap for you, smile with you, take pictures with you, show up in so many conferences. Show up in so many conferences, in so many legitimate spaces with wonderful people, and yet your bank account in your business, in your profession, does not help you move forward. I always say, at Khastoma Acquisition, we've come to understand businesses do not close, professions do not close because you quit. They close because we make low money, very little money. It's important for us to structure how we help them get to make money. And why am I saying this to you? Why am I saying this to you? I'm saying this to you because I've come to understand that if I give you visibility, if I give you an engagement, build an enormous community around your name and your presence, and yet I don't find a way to get those people to access your transformation, this is unnecessary. We always say it's like wearing your best outfit, putting on your best makeup, your best wig, your best suit, and then sitting at home. All the clapping, all the likes are in your mind. I made a post about this last week. Actually, no, it's not last week. I think it's 3 days ago or something. So it's important for you to understand that marketing is directly linked to access to your pocket. Generally, it is. It generally is. And if you want the grandiose, if you want the glamour, the aesthetics, all that kind of stuff, we must at least have these two things sharpened: our credible reputation and the way we make money. And we must be making money. We must be. But let's say you are so keen on marketing yourself. You probably have money, or you probably don't have money, or you probably have some money for your marketing, which is why you're probably still watching this. Okay? If you do have it, because I said, yes, I don't have any background in real estate agency or any background in building a brick, I want to show you why I understand you're so important to your clients. Because I'm going to speak to you from your standpoint about how your client sees you, why you're so important for them right now. This is for your clients. You're a real estate agent, you're a construction company guy. This is why you are important. You probably think that the reason why you're important is because you understand how to evaluate a plot, or you probably understand how depreciation, the numbers of depreciation, appreciation work, analyzing the economy, understanding market rates, number of rooms, locations. Those are what I call standard minimums. Where does that come from? It comes from the notion that in every relationship, especially their dearest ones, a man and a woman, boy and a girl, whichever one, there's always what we like to toss as bare minimum. If this person does not tick 1, 2, 3 boxes, then we don't generally want them because they are either below our level or they're just not going to the future that we want to be in. So they don't meet our standard, even if they dress and look good. So in a relationship, as a construction company and as a real estate agency, two different people, I'm speaking to both of you, you probably think that you're important. All of the evaluation, the right material, the right rooms, the right color, the right angles, the ventilation, the right material, the locations, these are just standard minimums. They are necessary. You must already have them. You probably already do. But they are not the most important thing about you. They are significant, but they are not the reason as to why, as a buyer, as a seller, as somebody wants to build a mall, a city, or a house, that's not actually the reason why they want to work with you, generally speaking. The reason as to why you're actually important is not because of the standard minimums that I said before. The reason why you're important is specifically for this reason: financial risk management. I don't like the word risk management as a general word, generally speaking. I think it's a big word. I think that it does not have guidance. I don't think it has a lane. This is why I coined the word financial risk management. Why am I saying that? In a relationship between a buyer and a seller, the reason why you are important as a real estate agent is actually because you understand the perspective of both the seller and the buyer. Why am I saying that? Why did I say financial risk management? They're important because as a buyer, usually from what I've seen in videos and all that kind of stuff, usually they have a standard and a price that they want for their property to go at. And as a buyer, there's only to a certain amount that I can afford to buy this specific product. What you offer, the reason why you're important as a real estate agent, is actually because you understand how to give financial relief and financial security. Why did I say financial relief and financial security? Financial relief is for the buyer and financial security is for the seller. Financial relief for the buyer speaks to the fact that as a buyer, I am able to finance this deal according to the time where will make sure that it closes and I'm able to finance it without my other commitments suffering financially. That's financial relief because I will get the house. The house is just a means to an end. We want the house. But if the financing is not well garnered for, this deal closes. And we cannot lose money while we're still in the deal. That's why important as a real estate agent. The other reason why important, which speaks to the security of the buyer. As a buyer, and I can switch places. The reason why it's important is because financial security to the buyer speaks to the fact that you're going to get me a buyer who is able to actually buy my property at the price that I want and at the point where I will be satisfied. That's why you're important. You're important for getting these two entities, these two parties, to get to an understanding, equilibrium, where they, a financial one, to be exact, where they are able to get to an agreement that commences immediately. Same thing for the construction company. The construction company is important not because it knows the right material, the right paint, the right timing. It can do it in 4 months, not like yet we're building a mall, it could whatever, or we could build the proper foundation. That's not actually why important. They are significant. But the reason why we want to work with your construction company is because you know how to help us avoid extra budget spending. We don't want to spend more. We want to spend to the point where our project starts and ends. That's what we want. The reason why a construction company is important and a real estate agent is important is because you guys understand financial risk management. That's why. But why did I talk about typical marketing? How does this relate to typical marketing? Besides just me showing you that I actually understand why they're important. Because I was speaking from the understanding of your ideal client, believe it or not. The other clients that think are important for the valuation, for the what, those ones don't really understand your worth. I do. So why was I saying that you are important? Why should you be avoiding typical marketing? Before that, I would like to let you know that a Khastoma Acquisition System Installer, what we offer as a free guide, free of charge, it's free, but I don't like free things, so it's free. What we offer is a digital assessment. We offer how you've been showing up according to how you want to show up, and we give you simple tricks, DIY tricks, where you could be applying them for yourself and with your team in a way that your social presence elevates, speaking directly to digital credible repetition. Sharp. Now back to as to why you should be avoiding typical marketing. You should be avoiding typical marketing because, like I've said, if we speak to everyone, our marketing is disregarded. The laws of marketing say that we speak to specific people about a pain that they're experiencing, helping them understand with clarity that we can help them, not anybody else. And when we help them, their future stands a better chance of being peaceful, of having a wonderful experience for their own scenarios. Right? So, we must avoid typical marketing because it speaks to everyone. The second thing about typical marketing is that if you avoid it, you start to actually build a presence that people resonate. I've seen and I have benchmarked without permission and with permission to some of them, real estate agency pages and construction companies. Most of you guys post a lot of static content. You post a lot of pictures, you post a lot of what I would call flyer-like content. That does not build resonance. Nobody connects with Apple because it has an Apple label. We connect with Apple because one, Steve Jobs is closer to anybody's thoughts. Second, because of the experience of using an Apple product. Two things. All of these things are alive and they're practical. So if your page does not have a face, a voice, and a story, a personality to it, then who are you speaking to? Probably just the algorithms, in my opinion. And you don't want the algorithms. You want people to understand that you have a solution for them. You have an expert understanding, a skill, where they could get to the transformation and the future that they want. So how do you market them? Because I showed you why you should be avoiding it. Then how should you market? I've been saying it. Put a voice and a face to it and a story to it. Put a voice, a face, and a story to it. And if it's still hard, then take our audit. Take the audit. I will help you write just simple things that you could be doing to show up a little bit better. And maybe I could help you understand why I say put a face, a voice, and a personality to it. Especially if you're a real estate agent. The reason why I want you to help me sell my property is actually because I know who you are. I know you understand the pain of being lowballed after building an entire mall, making it appreciate for worth of millions, but now people want to buy it for 2 million and it's worth 15 million. All of that loss. All because somebody says I want to buy the. That's not true. And you know that as a real estate agent. So your profession, especially your digital credible reputation, depends a lot on your presence, on your face, and on your personality. You must be alive. It must be there. We don't want to just see pictures. We don't want to just see the prices. We don't want to also just see nothing that does not speak to anybody. Avoid any of that. Also, fix the system that gets you paid. If you don't understand how you're getting money and how you're making money, you can get all the engagements, build a very big community, millions and more, get a very high engagement, and you still not be paid. And soon after that, you're going to be closing. And I don't want that for you, and I don't want that for your clients, because I know you can actually help them, you can actually solve them. I'm Mosima Pusoetsile. This is Khastoma Acquisition System Installer, and thank you for allowing me to help you.